welcome to Staillo and Mitsu TK's The Very Serious Juniper Dev Game Jam submission. The Spin to Win theme got announced on Friday, so on Saturday, Mitsu and I started talking about what kind of game we should create, which was a roguelike battle type of game. Alright, so I subconsciously created Cartman from South Park. But yeah, this is... Oh, thank you. Kenny, oopsies. But yeah, and then I'm visualizing a 2D plane. We're going through a forest. I don't know, something else, maybe mountain terrain, and then a castle at the end. And then this is the spin to win, would be a wheel, and it just has random things that can succeed you, help you succeed. And then you have an option to spin it right now before the next battle, or you skip for better odds of the next wheel. Wow! And of course, I want the main character to be they, just so you can see yourself in them. I'm working on animation now. I feel like I should do all the drawing first before I start programming. I just don't feel like being on the computer right now, so we're just gonna animate. But yeah, this is the animating. This is how the character's gonna walk, and it looks so silly. Silly little bugger. Ew. I'm not adding that in.
Alright, first game jam for me. This is exciting. Anyway, my thought process going into this is quite simple. Since we have a mechanic to actually spin the wheel in the game, I'm thinking 70s, 80s, 90s game shows, right? Spin the wheel for the grand prize, that type of stuff. So I started writing a little jingle for spinning the wheel using this. If you know what this is, please don't ask me, okay? I like a little risk involved sometimes. If you don't know what this is Sound Canvas VA by Roland. It's a program, a VST plugin, modeled after the legendary hardware synthesizer called the SC55 and the SC88. If you are into retro games, you will 100% have heard these sounds before. I prepared a little example showcasing how you will instantly recognize the sound. So yeah, this is the SC55, SC88. Very legendary. If you played games in the 90s or the early 2000s, you heard this 100%. And everyone used this, okay? It was literally everywhere, because it was very easy to use, actually, and it still is, somewhat. Anyway, let's listen to the jingle. I will definitely come back to this later, but I won't show you, because you'll just get bored to death. Yep, sounds like spinning the wheel already. I like it.
Several hours later.
Alright, I've done some drums, I've done some bass, some piano, and I'm pretty satisfied with my work today. I'm just gonna leave it at that. Mixing and everything I'm gonna do some other time. Yeah, but this is it.
On Sunday, I started programming. I copied and pasted code from my previous game for the player movement, but then changed it so that the player can only walk side to side, similar to Silksong. Bro, this game is not even comparable. Look how the trees are moving. That looks so cool. It's Monday. Drawing-wise, I created the health bar and wheel. Programming-wise, once you reach the zombie enemy, the battle scene would pop up. The original idea was for the wheel to pop up after the battle, which is why you don't see it yet. But that gets changed later.
Alright, short little update from my side. I really hate this vlogging stuff. I made one yesterday and I deleted it. I'm just not good at this, okay? I'm an artist, okay? I'm here to entertain. Anyway, so the theme that I made on the first day, I think this would be better for like a main menu theme because it's like spinning the wheel, you know, we're spinning and it's like gambling and this sounds like a game show. However, I made alterations of these sounds and this is for like spinning the wheel. And I made one good and one bad. The bad one sounds like this, right? It's like very off, very weird. I added a little detail. This is like the stick falling on the drum set. Yeah, it's kind of funny. I also wrote a little tune for background music. I kind of really like this one. It sounds really smooth, you know? It's like very calming. I also took care of some sound effects. For the UI, I got inspiration from like slot machines, right? Because it's all about spinning the wheels, all about randomness. You don't know what you're getting, so I thought like slot machines would be fun to take inspiration from. And this is what the UI sounds like. Right? It's simple but effective. And then I also did a bunch of other stuff, which I'm too lazy to show you because it's kind of a drag. However, I can tell you what I did. I selected a few cool sounds from Dext. Dext allows me to play DX7 files. If you know what the DX7 is, congrats. If you don't know what it is, it's a legendary synthesizer from the 80s. Everyone used this. It was groundbreaking technology for the time, and a sound no one has ever heard in like commercial use, because it's one of the, if not the first synthesizer that got commercial success. Michael Jackson is a prime example of how that was used in Smooth Criminal. The bass line, that's the DX7. And the way it worked was you had these cartridges, right, that you had to put in the synthesizer. And on those cartridges were the presets. And I found this plugin, it's free, it's on GitHub. And I also found the DX7 preset files, all of them. And I had a lot of fun. I'm having a lot of fun with this, actually. This is like a time travel back into the 80s. You have definitely heard the DX7 before. I can give you a little example. Flute 2. Right? Everyone used this, okay? You know the sounds of the DX7, 100%. But yeah. So much for the SFX. I also finished off this today. This is the theme for The Last Boss. And this is the third version of that song. Because I did a previous version just to try something out right before we started this project, this game jam. I can talk about that as well in a minute, but yeah. This is the main, like the last boss that you have to fight in the game. Yeah, actually, I think I'm not going to show you this version. I'm going to show you the version that I first did. Because there's also some nerdy stuff involved, which I can yap about. But yeah. So this is the first version of the last boss theme. This is the C700. Okay, it's a VST plugin, and it's basically an emulator of the SNES, Super Nintendo sound chip. So it's like, it's almost pitch perfect when it comes to sound. It sounds exactly like the Super Nintendo. And the way that the Super Nintendo handled sounds and music in general was with SPC files. In those files were all the samples, all the sounds to create the song, as well as the information of when to play those sounds and in what pitch and in what velocity. And what I wanted to do was to create an SPC file with this, because it's possible, it's also free. And yeah, this is what I came up with. If you hear the most recent version in the game, yeah, it's completely different. I mean, it's still the same to some extent, but like, you know, it's not really the same. Yeah, anyway, that's so much for that. I don't know when I'm gonna be vlogging again, maybe tomorrow, maybe in a couple days, but I really don't like this stuff.
Holy shit, my vocal fry. Of course. Of course. The serious game jam. I get sick the week of. And we pushed through it, it was fine. So now when you reach the enemy, the wheel pops up before you enter the battle scene. Here I have it so that the wheel is doing a spinning animation, but I didn't know how to stop it at random intervals, so I looked online for an answer. Someone here was asking the same question I was, and then this person's like, I don't know how to do the calculations, which is so real. And literally this angel, see this giant script, and I'm like, oh my god, that looks like the answer. And there's staff software engineer at Unity. Wow. Beautiful. Thank you, thank you. So because of that, I'm able to get this, but it always lands in the same purple slot, which of course I want it to be randomized. So I think the torque needs to be randomized also. And then this is how she looks. On Thursday, I added text to the wheel. Let me know which panel is your favorite. And then to determine where the arrow points at once the wheel stops, I created box colliders, and that took a bit. But this is the only way I could think of to solve that issue. It's 1 in the morning right now. So it's like I have one full day left, and I'm stuck on something. So for example, this wheel spins, but I needed to detect when it stops spinning. For the wheel, all I did was just add a timer, so after 15 seconds, whatever the arrow's pointing at determines what you got, like what you won. Which isn't the best, but it's all I could do in the short amount of time that I had. And I literally still need to do the itch page settings, probably, the main menu. Here at the 8-hour mark, it felt like I had a whole work shift left until the game jam closed. So I added a health bar. I took off the block because I did not have time to program that. And just like that, 4 hours have flew by. I started creating the main menu, and then we got 2 more hours. Oh my god. This is where it was getting real panicky for me. And then here I thought I threw away the entire game because I was using the wheel animation for the main menu, but when I pressed start, the wheel was still looking all wonky and I didn't have a backup. Lesson learned. But this is how I fixed it. I just went back into my animation folder and was able to just fix that real quick. I was working like a mad woman, but I created the credits scene, added that into Unity, and made it look like an animation, which I think is really cute. And then because of the time crunch, I had to change the zombie straight into the final boss, which is Juniper, of course. Which originally this game was supposed to have 3 enemies and 3 different settings, but I had to improvise. And then here I realized you're punching Juniper. No! I did not want that. That's not what I meant at all. No Juniper devs were harmed in the making of this video and game jam.
Alright, vlog update number 3, the last one that you're gonna get from me. It is currently almost 2 a.m. in Germany, and I finished up all of my work. Yeah, this was fun. I'm excited to see my music in the game, actually. Prior to this game jam, I also started to learn how to code and develop my own game just so I can put my music into it. And it's horror, but I love it. Yeah, I'm excited to see this in game. I think for every musician, this is kind of like once you reach a certain level, you really want to try other things and also like breach out with your skill set in movies or games. And so this was a pretty cool practice. Yeah, I wish I would have had more time to adjust to some artistic choices to make it like more fitting, because right now I was just doing whatever I was feeling. But yeah, next game jam I might have more time for that. So we'll see how that turns out. Yeah, see ya.
Saturday morning. It is now down to the last hour until I can submit the game. This wizard was supposed to be me, but that was supposed to be the second enemy. So cute, but she had to go unused. So the scene with the wheel and the battle are two different scenes, and I wasn't able to transfer that prize over. So instead I just randomized their attacks, and we got less than 30 minutes left. Of course, I'm compiling my game and it's taking forever. Oh my god, I should have done this sooner. There's my computer taking off again. But what I'm doing is, Mitsu sent me 2 songs, main menu and loop. So I'm trying to get it so that main menu plays and then the loop is gonna play next. This is insane, but yeah, I created the itch page and the thumbnail for the game. And then right now I'm building the game. And finally, the game is on itch. I also created the juniper hats for the background of the game. It's not perfect, but I think it came out cute. And then yeah, here's the final game. Enjoy! Special thanks to Juniper for this game jam opportunity. It was so refreshing and so much fun to create something new, even if just for a little bit. Thank you to Mitsu for collaborating with me. You're insanely talented, oh my god. And thank you to my mod for being a calming space when I needed it, especially during game development. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye!